Hello, folks. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome to Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor.
I think I'm supposed to say that's me.
That's your cue.
But it is me. It's my cue.
You know it's you.
That's my cue. Come on. Da 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 da.
I'm Carl Christensen. I'm sitting
that
across
wakes me
desk.
up in the morning. I mean, I sing that song and I know I'm awake. The birds chirp and this song goes into my brain.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Springtime.
You know this, listeners, but you're listening to Dr. Zorba Pastor, the one and only,
The one and
legend.
only,
He's
the
right
real,
here.
the real deal,
real
me.
deal.
That's right.
And
me.
speaking of singing,
That's right.
I just heard that you might be taking some
I
singing
am
lessons
taking
now.
singing. I can't believe it. Here it is.
I can't wait
I'm
to
learning
hear how
to
this
ride a
goes.
horse and I'm singing and
Yeah.
I'm taking dance lessons. And,
Can you
really?
combine all three of those things?
Yeah.
Like a
You know what I'll have to
dancing,
do?
singing horseman.
Yeah, I'll be on the horse. Roy Rogers. That's what I'll do.
There it is.
It'll be Trigger. Yeah, that's my bottom line is I want the horse to start dancing while I'm singing Happy Trails to You.
Oh, it's perfect.
Until we meet again.
Got that one down.
Yeah, well,
We've heard that song before.
Well, I've heard it, but I mean, you never, Roy Rogers.
My dad loves Roy Rogers. Yeah, I'm aware of him.
Maybe
I haven't
you
watched
oughta-
his movies.
Maybe what you ought to do is ask him for a Roy Rogers joke. Your mother
That's
can
a good
certainly
idea.
come up with something.
That's a good
she
idea.
can definitely come up with a Roy Rogers joke. I don't know where Trigger is, but Trigger is stuffed that much.
Trigger's stuffed
well,
in
at
a
least
museum?
that's what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe Trigger is really not stuffed. But we're actually not paying attention to what we're doing. We're stuck on Roy Rogers and my singing career. The singing
Folks,
doctor.
This is the beginning of it. You're
The
going to see this guy take off.
The singing doctor.
The singing doctor. Okay, we got to talk about the show. We got a lot going on this show today.
We do.
Zorba's going to address oodles of misinformation floating around online about cholesterol, and it's causing statin hysteria.
Yeah.
That's in quotes. Statin hysteria.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll talk about that.
Lots of misinformation, lots of rubbish about statins, right?
And Zorba's going to pick up that hotline telephone, help out a caller. We're going to do a recipe. We're going to do one of Zorba's favorite recipes. It's actually one of Zorba's daughter's famous recipes, a gazpacho recipe.
Really simple, really easy, really great.
That sounds fun. We'll get to some listener emails. And as always, my mom's going to unleash one of her famous mom jokes upon you guys.
That's
so
right.
get ready for that.
Did she tell you jokes in the morning when you got up? Did she wake you up from bed and tell you a joke?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
She was always, I got like
go
a
ahead.
sweet wake up, just Carl, time to get up.
Time to get up.
Time to go to school.
When did she start the jokes?
Just like when we started this podcast.
Oh, really? So she's been keeping them inside of her.
Yes.
And she finally has had a chance.
She was waiting for a platform for it.
Platform for a joke.
We've given it to her. All right. The phone number to call anytime if you have a question for the good doc is 608-492-9292.
And, of course, you can email me at askdrzorba@gmail.com.
Sounds good. All right, Zorba, let's kick off today's healthy living topic discussion with a message we received on the Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor Facebook page. A listener, Ed, sent us a Facebook post from a doctor who said the following, quote, "Cholesterol is essential for life, and the war against it has been driven more by big pharma profits than science. The truth is that 50% of people who suffer heart attacks have normal or low cholesterol." All right, that's from some doctor. Who knows who this doctor is?
That's
on
from
Facebook.
somebody who calls himself a doctor. We really don't know.
We don't know who that
But
is.
that's okay.
I'll go on here.
Hey.
So then Ed, he wrote his own message and he said, Zorba, I'm conflicted. We seem to see this other side of cholesterol presented more and more. I know you believe in statins and have always told us over the years that when the science changes, so will doctors' recommendations. Where is this going, Zorba?
Well, first of all, let's talk about cholesterol. It actually is essential for life. Cholesterol is part of a whole bunch of biological processes. So you can't get rid of all cholesterol because you actually need it. So let's put that off to the side. The issue is heart attacks. Let's work backwards from that. The issue is, how do we prevent heart attacks and stroke? Now, the reality is we know there's certain things you can do for lifestyle that really make a difference. Exercise, big way to correct it. Not smoking, big way to correct it. Eating pretty much a Mediterranean diet. We know the Mediterranean diet, the Med diet, is the best diet. We know heart attack and stroke are decreased with the Med diet. It is the king of diets. I don't care what anyone says. That is the best diet. We know that. But now, what do statins do? So first of all, yes, Big Pharma was involved in the development of statins, but Big Pharma is involved with a lot of new medications that come out. But right now, statins are generic. So they're generic, they're cheap, they're inexpensive. Get Big Pharma out of the picture. Okay, that's what it is. What do statins do? Now, there are other drugs that lower cholesterol, but do not reduce heart attack and stroke. Niacin is a good example. Large doses of niacin, which you can take, actually reduce cholesterol, but don't do anything for heart attack and stroke. There are other drugs, Estimbe, Ezestimbe, may have possibly some way of reducing heart attack and stroke, but that's really questionable. And that's for people who actually cannot tolerate statins. We use that drug, but it's not very good. So what do statins do? So first of all, let's look at heart attacks and strokes. They're caused often by cholesterol deposits that are in our coronary arteries and in other arteries of our body. Some people have them, some do not. Now, I had a patient of mine, Clem weighed in at about 500 pounds. Clem's cholesterol was 160. He had a great cholesterol, even though he was overweight. And he died at a young age because he had multiple medical problems because he was 500 pounds. But his cholesterol was fine. He ultimately died of a heart attack. He had a normal cholesterol, so you can look at that. Obviously, there were other things there. Statins reduce the inflammation in the coronary arteries that appear to be the resulting one of the aspects that are important for heart attacks and strokes. So they don't just lower cholesterol, they do something else. That's what they do. So now here it is. Your doctor recommends you go on a statin. So you can then say, and should say, why is that? So there's something called the Framingham Heart Study that you can look at the data of that, but that's pretty incomplete. The Framingham Heart Study doesn't take into consideration family history. Did somebody die of a heart attack in their 20s or their 30s or their 40s? Doesn't take into that. It doesn't actually, the Framingham Heart Study doesn't take into how much you exercise. So it's only a minimal, but the Framingham Heart Study shows when people should be on a statin. So you go, I don't want to take it because the drug has side effects. It does. About 5 or 10% of the people get muscle aches. Definitely has side effects. There's a question about whether or not some people get diabetes. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 get diabetes. When they're on the statin, they stop the statin, the diabetes goes away. So there definitely are some questions there. You as a patient have to make that decision with your doctor. In other words, don't get it from the web. Don't get it from me. Get it from your doctor. Get it from your clinician. I mean, if you're getting a prescription, sit there and talk to them. And if they go, oh, well, I say you got to do it. I'm the doctor. I know what's it. You got the wrong doctor. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. So my recommendation is not to go off of statins, but to have a good faith discussion. Then you make the decision. And you make the decision based on the data, which is good data. But because it's hard to interpret that, sometimes you have to do that. Now, obviously, your doctors may be more biased towards statins, but some doctors are not biased towards statins, and maybe you don't need it. Maybe you've got a good high-density cholesterol. Maybe even though your LDL or bad cholesterol is high, you're doing everything right. You don't want to take a statin. Don't take a statin. That's okay. But we know that since I started medicine, which was in 1974 when I graduated medical school, we have dropped stroke by 75 to 80%. We used to have stroke wards because we treat high blood pressure aggressively and from the use of statins. And we've dropped premature death by heart attacks by about 75%. Once again, treatment of high blood pressure, treatment with statins, and then we have stents that we put in for people who are at high risk. So we are awesome when it comes to stroke and cardiovascular disease, much better than cancer. Cancer, we prolong life, but we don't cure a lot of cancers. We pick them up early, but cancers are not, if you look in the last 30 years, we haven't done as well in cancer as we've done for heart attacks and stroke. So you got to look at that and make your decision. One of the things we know is there is a lot of rubbish on the internet. And I could use another word besides rubbish, but
Let's go with rubbish.
My mother.
Rubbish is good.
Rubbish is good. Rubbish is good. So there you go.
There it is. Spoken
there
from
it
the
is,
doctor's
laid
mouth.
out.
Yes.
Laid out. And of course, you're listening to me on the podcast. But once again, I'm telling you to look to, when you have a clinician, then you're looking for them for expertise. And then you make a decision yourself. It's your choice.
All right, 608-492-9292. You can call that number anytime. And let's go to the phones now. Let's try to help out a caller from North Branch, Minnesota. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Good, thanks. How can we help
Pleasure
you?
to talk to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's good talking to you. How can I help?
Well, I heard on a program recently, I responded to a caller regarding Astepro.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And during that program,
Astepro nasal spray. Correct.
right, exactly. And you said that Astepro is only available over the counter, which I don't think is correct because I get Astepro in a generic form, azolastine, and I get that by prescription.
That's right. And actually, what I probably said was Astepro is now available over the counter. And because the prescription, which is the generic, Astepro, has been around for a long time. It's probably been around for a good, 10 or 15 years. And prior to recent research, it wasn't something I thought was very interesting. It was a topical antihistamine sprayed in your nose. It didn't work quite as well as steroids, but the new research shows that it may have an antiviral effect with COVID, and maybe it has an antiviral effect with others. So I am on board with that. So you've had a prescription for that for years, for a while?
No,
Tell me about it.
I just got it because I heard about that antiviral effect, that it significantly decrease the likelihood that you would get
COVID. That's right.
Taking it. And I also just learned today that it also works with common cold.
Yeah, it may do that. So what's interesting is that the particular COVID study, which was done, it was like over a 3 or 4 month period, was done in Germany. Everyone took estelazine 3 times a day, more than is written on the bottle. I don't know how they chose that. And then they kept on checking them for COVID. And lo and behold, they found there was a 60% reduction in COVID during that time frame. And then other research shows that other viruses may also be affected, may keep the virus from actually, essentially attaching to the nasal mucus. So it's kind of interesting because for people who are at risk of getting COVID, it may be that they ought to take it once a day. I don't know. There's a lot of research that's going on it right now. Inexpensive, cheap. So what did it cost when you got it by your prescription? Did you have much of a copay?
My prescription is for a 90-day supply, and my copay is $20.
$20 for a 90-day supply. So you know what it costs? If you go and get it over the counter, it's about $15, $15 to $18 for one bottle, which is nowhere near a 90-day supply. So
the cheapest I've found it for the same size bottle that I have is at Walmart, and that was like $30 a bottle.
Well, it's very, very interesting. There's a good point that goes both ways. So sometimes things are cheaper over the counter, and sometimes things are cheaper with your copay. And because big pharma, profit margins, Carl, you've heard of profit, right?
I think so,
I've heard of profit somewhere around this. You can't always tell. And I give a good example. I had a patient of mine had for years on an antidepressant, and he said, could you just give me a 30-day supply? And I said, why? He said, well, I can't afford a 90-day supply because a 30-day supply cost me like $24 on my copay. And I said, really, wait a minute, this is Prozac, it's the Walmart, $4 a month if you buy it with cash, $10 for a 90-day supply drug, and you're getting your prescription at Walmart, and they're not telling you it's cheaper over the counter. And it turns out in Wisconsin, they can't tell you unless you ask.
Oh, really?
They can't tell you unless you ask. They can't tell you except if it's a wink and a nod, as we say. It is illegal for them to tell you unless they ask. I mean, it's like part of, it's part of, it's part of profit motive.
That's some heavy lobbying went into that law.
But this is a good example where it's cheaper to get it with your copay. So, the reality is pharmacists are really good with this kind of a thing. And if you ask them, they're allowed to talk to you. I mean, and they will talk with you. So this is a good example where a copay is cheaper than over the counter. I'm glad you bring that up.
That's assuming you have insurance, which not everybody has. And
Well, right.
I looked on my benefit statement from my insurance company, and the actual cost was $100.
The actual cost was $100.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they paid 80, and I paid 20.
Right.
But I'm guessing for people that don't have insurance, if they use GoodRx or some similar site, that they may be able to get it for under the $100 too. So
Right. Well, and I don't have GoodRx. I don't have a computer in front of me. But you bring up a good point also. GoodRx makes a difference. Also, Walmart, a number of others, Walgreens, a number of other stores also have a list of $10 90-day supply drugs that are not GoodRx. And so I think when people are on chronic meds, especially whether they're on a fixed budget or not, once a year or once every 6 months, certainly once a year, you ought to check and see what's cheaper to get. Is it cheaper with your copay? Or if you don't have a copay, is it GoodRx? Or is it cheaper to get, with there? And the other thing is, I'll give another good example. You may be prescribed something called an ACE inhibitor, which is used for, among other things, high blood pressure. Used for high blood pressure and other things. Well, some ACE inhibitors are name brand, and some ACE inhibitors are generic. Well, your doctor may prescribe the name brand one, but in fact, it may be that the generic one is just as good. And when you prescribe these things, I can tell you, it doesn't pop up as to what the cost is. So if you get to the pharmacy and they say, wait a minute, this is like $100 copay for a prescription drug, you can ask the pharmacist and say, is there something similar to this, analogous to you? And if they say yes, say, can you contact the doctor's office and see if the cheaper one is there? Because let me tell you, not every doctor pays attention to this. It's not, and it's not always that easy to get the information. Once again, because ka-ching. Right. So, well, thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. And thanks for listening to our podcast. We love doing it. Carl's got a smile on his face, Cheshire grin.
Always.
Smile on his face. That's right. You're always smiling, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
when you're here, I am.
Pretty much, yeah. When I'm
talking to you, Zorba, I'm always smiling.
I got it. So, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I am so glad you started the podcast. I was really disappointed when I heard your show was going off the air, and now I listen to the podcast every week. So
well, thank you, thank you for listening. Appreciate your call. You take care. You're going to help people by giving that information and discussing it. Really makes a difference. So thank you.
Sure, thanks.
Take care.
Thanks so much for that call at 608-492-9292.
That's 608-492-9292. Or, of course, you can write me at askdrzorba@gmail.com. Leave a message if you want to. You can't leave a message on Gmail. You can write me on Gmail. And if you want us to call, leave the phone number. We'd love to hear from you. I love answering those emails.
All right, Zorba, we've gotten a lot of emails from that gmail.com address, askdrzorba@gmail.com. A lot of emails recently saying, how about some more recipes, guys?
I know.
We're going to deliver that right now.
We are going to deliver that. We're going to deliver more recipes on a regular basis. So, first of all, this is gazpacho. Can you pronounce it the right way?
I always say it wrong. I say gazpacho, but it's gazpacho.
I don't know. I don't speak Spanish. I mean, my kids all speak Spanish, but you think I'm going to pronounce it right? Pronunciation police are going to get me on this one. Yeah, is it gazpacho or gazpacho? Or I don't know. Whatever it is, what I'm...
And this is your daughter. Your daughter's one of your.
You have written here Dee Dee's Spanish friend. Right. So it's not hers.
It's from her friend.
It's actually her friend, and it's from her friend's grandmother's recipe.
I misinterpreted this, Zorba. Yeah, when I looked at this, I thought this was her friend. The actual soup gazpacho was her friend because she loves it so much.
No, it's not. It's Dee Dee's Spanish friend. No,
this is my little. I'm gonna have a bowl of my friend right now.
No, it's not her. Okay. Her friend is not. That's her friend is.
Senor
Gazpacho. Right? That's right. No, she has a friend whose grandmother made gazpacho, and so she made it. So we sort of changed it a little bit, and then she and I make it together. And she loves to cook. I love to cook. Everyone in my family loves to cook.
It looks great. We're going to put it on the website too, listeners.
Yeah, it's really good. Easy recipe, so you don't have to pull your car over and write it down. Start out with 5 big tomatoes. And actually, the tomatoes in the grocery store are really quite good for this recipe. So it's a big can.
Yeah.
I don't know how many ounces. Big can, bottom shelf, not the small can.
Right.
Regular tomatoes, either chunky.
Do you get low sodium? Because don't they put tons of salt in those canned tomatoes?
I usually get low sodium. Well, they put salt in, but I mean, you're gonna have other things in here too.
Okay.
So I just get.
It's good to be a salty dish.
But I can't have tomatoes if you don't have fresh ones.
Sure.
1 green pepper.
Okay, green pepper.
Yeah, 1 green pepper. You're going to chop it up. 1.5 onions.
1.5 onions.
Now, how big do you think that onion should be? If we just say 1.5 onions,
Like a baseball size.
Baseball
size.
Little
larger than a baseball.
Yeah, baseball size.
Okay.
Half a bulb of garlic. Okay.
Half a bulb. A bulb is the full thing.
Correct.
With a bunch of cloves.
That's right.
Okay, gotcha.
That's right. So half of that. Not a whole one. That's too much.
4 cloves?
Yeah, 4 cloves, 6 cloves. Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Half
Okay.
a bulb. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have a question with the garlic now. When you actually take the skin off the garlic, how do you do that?
I usually I take a bulb, or not, a clove, and I chop both ends off, and then it kind of just peels off pretty easily.
So let me tell you another way. Take the side of a kitchen knife and smash it.
Oh, I've done that too. That's right.
And then
That's
cut it
fun.
off, and it comes off even easier.
I always forget to do that. That's a good idea.
Well, but now you can remember because you've been corrected.
I've been schooled on that.
You've been schooled. I love
police.
it. Schooled. A cucumber, regular
Okay,
cucumber. And in the cucumber, when you are taking the cucumber, what you want to do is you want to take the cucumber, you want to take the skin off, with a, what do you call it? Peeler.
Yeah.
I was going to say
easy, right?
a skin remover, but that's what it is. So with the peeler, you want to take it on the inside and get rid of all those seeds that are in the inside.
Okay.
4 tablespoonfuls of vinegar.
4 big T vinegar?
Now, I have sherry vinegar in my basement because sherry vinegar has a really nice taste to it. Balsamic vinegar, I don't think I would use. You could use apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
That would be also okay too. 5 or 6 crusty pieces of crusty French bread, or 3 or 4 white bread slices that you put in the toaster. It's got to be, because white bread has got to be toasted. So it's got to be a decent white bread, but a little French bread is much better. Should have French bread, much better.
Sounds good.
Half a cup of olive oil.
Okay. Extra virgin?
Where do you get, of course, where do you get your olive oil?
Where do we go? I guess we go to Costco and get the big jug of extra virgin.
That's right. Extra, and you might add a little bit of salt. Here's what you do. It's a very complex recipe. Very complex.
I sense sarcasm.
You sense sarcasm. Put everything together in a blender.
That's it.
And turn it on.
You blend it, all that stuff right away?
That's all you do.
Okay.
It's amazingly
How high? What
delicious.
speed on the blender?
High as it goes.
Oh, really?
And actually, what you actually have to do is you got to blend it more than once. So first of all, this may not fit into your blender, but it may. So I blend it, put it in a bowl, and then I blend it again. Put it in a bowl, and I blend it 3 times. I blended 2 or 3 times because you're not going to get it with the first blend. It's not going to be good. If you put it in a Cuisinart, you can easily get it in the first one. But I find a blender is easier to put in the dishwasher than the Cuisinart. And I am lazy when it comes to cleaning the kitchen. But you've got to blend it more than once. Put it in the refrigerator and chill it before you eat it. It's
right. This
important.
is a cold soup.
It's a cold soup. Now, one of the things that sometimes I will do is I will take that cold soup and I'll put it in a wonderful little little bowl, and I'll put it in an ice cube or 2 on top of the soup to really get it really cold.
You like it really cold.
It's even better cold, and if you want to, you can blend it, the top with a little ice cube. But this is really easy. It's it's Dee Dee's friend's grandmother's Gazpacho.
Write that down.
From Spain.
Wait. I have one question.
Yeah, only one?
You said, just one. And this is important, I think. The crusty chunks of bread, that's not in the blender. That's for topping later.
No, you put it in the blender. All goes in the blender.
Really?
Because that gives it the base, and that's what actually gives it some structure.
I assumed that was like a topping.
No,
thing.
It's not a topping. You put it in there, and it all gets there. And once again, if you've got some French bread, it should be stale French bread.
Okay.
5 pieces, you'll figure out how much it is. Or if you're going to use a better white bread, then you want to put it in the toaster, which basically dries it out. A little bit of toasting. You put it in there. No, the whole thing goes in the blender.
Wow, that's easy. It makes it even easier then. You just throw it all in there.
Throw it all in the blender, then put the blender in the dishwasher, and then enjoy it.
That sounds good. Yeah. That sounds like a good one. And folks, you can find that on our website, drzorba.org. We'll put it up there. You can see all the ingredients.
And remember, call me at 608-492-9292. We love answering those questions. And email me at askdrzorba@gmail.com. Carl,
Tell me, Zorba.
you know how much I love coffee.
Oh, you
right?
love coffee.
Years ago, I tried Just Coffee Co-op's Bike Fuel.
Bike fuel.
Medium roast coffee, and I was smitten. It's fair trade organic coffee. I bought it, and I am hooked.
You're still drinking it today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Just Coffee Cooperative. It's a worker-owned, fair trade, and organic coffee roasting co-op in Madison, Wisconsin, and they're dedicated to a model of commerce based on transparency, respect for labor, and environmental sustainability.
That's right, Carol. No flavors, no additives, just coffee. And guess what, listeners? If you use the code ZORBA10, you'll get 10% off your entire order on their website, www.justcoffee.coop. Just Coffee Cooperative. Justice from the grounds up.
All right, Zorba. Should we take a listener email?
Absolutely.
Okay. You promise
We
to
love
answer?
them.
You promise
Yeah,
to answer?
I promise.
Honestly?
Promise.
No lying, Zorba. All right. The following question came from a listener, Tara, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, who writes, Hi, Dr. Pastor. I'm originally from Oregon, Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
And went to school with your older kids.
Oh, cool.
That's always
Great.
fun.
Cool.
I was delighted and surprised when my husband told me he listened to your podcast and loved it.
Nice.
It's wonderful. Bravo.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I've always been very sensitive to medications, confounding most of my doctors,
Sure.
and sometimes even my psychiatrist husband. I'm curious to get your...
Psychiatrist husband.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's important detail. I'm curious to get your thoughts about vitamin D. Beginning last year, I feel like I'm going crazy if I take vitamin D 2 or 3. I experience waves of feeling like I'm losing my mind.
Wow.
I'm fine 1 minute, then I feel crazy the next, and so on and so on. I have literally grabbed my countertop before.
Wow.
I assume that's from dizziness or
Right.
something.
I assume so.
My best research tells me that the D, a hormone, is affecting my hormone levels, namely estrogen, but I'm not sure and no one can tell me. I'm desperate to take a D supplement, but it's intolerable, at least for now. In case it's related, I've started having hot flashes in the fall of 2024 and started hormone replacement therapy around that time.
Sure.
Any ideas?
Well, first of all, it's not D3 is not a hormone. D3 is a vitamin. So
Okay.
it's not a hormone.
Okay.
It may be, it's essential in certain metabolic processes, but it is not a hormone. So let's put that off
Okay.
to the side. The second thing is we don't need D3, but D3 may help us. That's one of the reasons it's really one of the only supplements that I recommend. And if you don't tolerate it, then you try to get it in food that contains vitamin D3. And that's the hard part, is that it really comes from the sun. And you've got to be in the sun in order to get it. And you have to be in, to give you an idea of what it's like, you in the sun, in order to get enough vitamin D to actually get those levels nice and high. In January, you'd have to go outside, take off your shirt or blouse, and be in the sun for about 20 minutes.
In the January cold.
That's right.
Assuming you live in the cold. Yeah.
Which would assume things are a little bit nuts. But the other thing is, if you want to take vitamin D3, do it every other day or twice a week. That's a way to do it. You also can get 50,000 unit D, which are by prescription, D capsules, and you can take it once a month. And
Okay.
that'll actually, take care of your levels with that. But if you notice side effects from it, the other thing may be the company you're getting it from. So changing companies into a different vitamin company may actually make a difference, because it might not be the vitamin D3. It could be the gelatin capsule that the vitamin D3 is then, is then surrounding. Or if they use a dye, and some companies may use a dye, that can make a difference too. So I would consider just changing, either doing the 50,000 once a month, or I would do probably every other day, and then I would change companies. Those are the things that I would recommend.
Do you take D?
I do.
You
I
do?
do take it. It's the only, I take a multivitamin. I go back and forth, but I take a multivitamin. I take a multivitamin gummy because I don't like the big capsule. And then I take vitamin D3 in a capsule.
Okay.
I have to be careful when I say I take a gummy.
Yeah.
I'm taking, it's not,
Yep.
it's
Not that gummy.
not a cannabis gummy. It's a it's a multivitamin gummy. Gee, I take it every morning. I don't know why I don't feel like doing anything. It must be the cannabis gummies.
You know what? You actually just queued up our next listener email really well. You didn't even know. You didn't even know it. Let's do another one. This is, let's see. This is from a listener, anonymous listener, who writes, Dr. Zorba, what is your view on taking THC gummies for chronic insomnia?
Well, a lot of people do it, and I think it's okay. I think there's nothing wrong. The real issue is if you take it every day, your body is going to become habituated to it. As you know, cannabis is an inebriant. I don't think it's a good idea to take any inebriant every day. The reality is, taking cannabis once a week, every so often, is really different than taking it every single day. So I would be careful about taking a gummy every day. And I don't know if the gummies generally have 10 milligrams, something like that. If you're going to try it for insomnia, I would take a gummy. I would divide it into quarters. And I would take a quarter of a gummy first and see if that works. But taking something every single night is not a great idea. Now, taking different things on different nights can make a difference. So some people take a gummy one night. They may take an antihistamine one night. They may take, if they're on gabapentin, take that one night. And that just works different ways in your brain. And that may be the way to incorporate this. But once again, every night with an inebriant, I don't think that's good for your body. That's all.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've had sleeping...
Every so often, yes.
Okay. I've had sleeping issues over the years, and melatonin has helped me a little bit.
Yeah,
really small
right.
dose, though.
Yeah.
I found that I take like the kids' melatonin, which
dose.
is like 1 milligram.
Yeah.
Because any more than that, and it does the opposite to me for some reason. It keeps me
that's
awake.
Good. Well, you found a dose that works for you, and too high a dose, is not good for you. Doesn't work for you. So
magnesium can help too. I've heard
that's right. Magnesium works. So remember, actually, magnesium and melatonin are really the safest over the counter. If you do an over the counter sleeping pill, it basically is an antihistamine, but the others really are safe and for some people very effective.
All right. Have a healthy living question for the good doc. You could post on our Facebook page. You could email us at askdrzorba@gmail.com.
And remember, call us at 608-492-9292.
Okay, Zorba. As promised, we got to do a mom joke now. My mom loves writing jokes.
I got it.
And we play them here on this podcast.
We do.
So let's cue up one of these mom
jokes.
Go,
Mom.
Here we go. This is my mom.
Mom jokes. I do it every time, don't I?
Oh, hey there, Zorba. Long-time sifter, first-time colander.
Oh, God.
So I think it's always a good joke when you have to explain the joke. I think what she's going for there is like, on radio call-in programs, people sometimes would say,
I do. Yeah,
long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
I think that's where she's going. So long-time sifter, first-time colander.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. Okay, good.
I got it right away.
I knew you got
if you
it.
have to explain a joke, it's not as funny.
My mom.
But the explanation is funny in and of itself. So we got two jokes there. Her joke and your explanation. And they're both funny.
Okay, we got to end this one, Zorba. All right, what did we learn? What did we learn? We talked about statins.
That's right.
We learned a
And
lot
you
about
can make a
statins.
decision on statin for yourself with your clinician, not with the rubbish that's out there on the net.
That's right. We learned about Astepro.
Yes.
Talked a little bit about that with a caller. Learned, we had a recipe. We had the Gazpacho recipe.
That's right.
Didi's Spanish friend.
Didi's Spanish friend's grandmother.
We couldn't fit that
Little
on the
bit
recipe.
farther,
It's too
that's
much.
right.
We learned about vitamin D. We learned about THC gummies for sleep. And we heard a really good mom joke. Anyways, go ahead, Zorba. This is your time. This is your time.
My time. Thanks for listening, folks. Call the number anytime at 608-492-9292. Email me. I love answering those emails. AskDrZorba@gmail.com. Come to my website, drzorba.org. And don't forget to stay well.